the over-under for Michigan State, and I went, I have to bring this to Rico because if they are anywhere near this over-under, I think the tenor of the conversation has to change. Now, this is by way of DraftKings. MSU, now it's juiced to the over. But, David, do you know the number I'm about to give you?
Nope, did not look.
Okay, good. Rico cheated.
I didn't
He's
cheat.
selfish.
It's called doing research for a
selfish. What do you think MSU's over-under is? And it's juiced to the over. It's minus 180 to the over.
I'm going to say 7.5.
Lower.
Oh, my gosh. Can't be 5.5.
Lower.
Oh, jeez. 4.5?
Correct. DraftKings has MSU over 4.5 at minus 180, under 4.5 at like plus 120.
You just hate to see it.
Okay, hey. Here's why I bring this up. Look, MSU was in the news. Obviously, the totals come out on the heels of losing Peyton Thorne and Keon Coleman. Charles Brantley went back to school. Rico, I ask you this question. If we are sitting here this fall and MSU is flirting with 4 or 5 wins, am I within my rights to say, you know what, this isn't working?
Yeah.
Okay, because I look at this as I know that at best, they could win 8 games this fall. Tough schedule. A lot of young guys are going to play, replacing a QB. At best, 8-4. I know 7-5 is the most realistic thing if this goes right.
If they're around 4 or 5, you could say that. Every Spartan fan can say that, and I would just caution you, like I do every other fan. You can complain, but nothing's going to happen.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't
But
sign
no,
that
you-
check, but
yeah.
I can then begin to say, hey, all of the criticism, lob it. I mean,
Yeah.
Rico, 4.5 in Vegas. That's where I can't. I can't believe that's the state of the program.
Well, but think about this, and I'm going to say something, and I'm not saying the results are going to be the same.
I'll turn my mic off.
But the last time they were 4.5 wins in Vegas was 2 years ago. Why? No, David. Can I finish?
Did David just silently throw a penalty flag?
He threw the flag at me. Okay, he wanted to hit me. Thank you, Pastor. You had uncertainty at quarterback. You got uncertainty at quarterback. You got a transfer running back coming in, and nobody really knows what he can do. There's a lot of question marks, and the same thing happened a couple of years ago, where coming off the pandemic, it was like, is this team any good? He went out and got a bunch of people in the portal. I don't know how it's going to work out. Now, first play of the game, Walker takes it 75 yards. The rest was history. I'm not saying it's going to happen that way, but when you don't know who your quarterback is and you don't know what this quarterback is going to do, yeah, you're always going to take low amount of win totals because, yeah, bad QB. I mean, we've seen it with bad QBs at State before.
All right,
it's painful.
All right, I got to tell you something now. It's unacceptable. Like, here's the bottom line. The lowest win total in the conference is Northwestern at 3.5. Indiana's at 4. Rutgers is 4.5. Michigan State's 4.5. Let me tell you something. I don't care. I don't want to hear about the quarterback. I don't want to hear about the running back. If the state of this program is that you are operating something that's going to be in or around 4 or 5 wins, I come on.
Mike, this is Vegas hedging their bets. Vegas doesn't care whether Michigan State goes out there and win 10 games or 2 games. Vegas is trying to say, hey, I got you $1. Do you want to place this bet or not?
But do you know how often these things are accurate, Rico? See, that I disagree completely because when you look at the data, the over-unders are actually shockingly accurate. They're in the range.
Mike, I give you that. But for that, every State fan is going to say, well, remember the last time they said that and we won 11 games.
Right, but that's anecdotal. I'm saying when you give out 135 of these, I'll go get you the research. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked.
Mike, we're agreeing with each other.
This is so depressing to look at that.
There's a ton of uncertainty, so it's hard to come out and say they're going to win 7.5 games because you don't know what's going to happen at quarterback. You don't know what's going to happen at receiver. You don't know what's going to happen at the running back
All right,
spot.
so let me ask you a question. Rico's right. Fine. He ain't going nowhere unless this season goes completely off the rails. But how many games does Tuck have to win for him not to be on the hot seat? Not. In the mind of the general public, not you.
I was about to say 12.
Okay, then.
Now I'm the general public. Like, what do you mean we lost? I would say
Seven or eight.
7 or 8, depending on what you do with the Michigan game, if you want to be real about it. You beat Michigan, and I think fans will back off a little bit and say, okay, you won 7 games, but one of them was Michigan. You'll be angry about the other 5 that you lost. But, yeah, 7 or 8 games I think would be enough that people can say, okay, you went back to a bowl game. It wasn't a great bowl game, but at least it's going positive. It's going forward.
What about 5 or 6 with Michigan? They underperformed, but Michigan is a discount. No?
I hate you.
Oh, I'm just asking the question.
Happy birthday, and I still hate you.
Thanks, man.
No, you know what that is, Kenny? That is a old school WPRE radio bit. That is same old Spartans logic of, well, what if you suck, but you beat U of M? No. Kenny, here's the bottom line. You can laugh at this, but you've lived here your whole life. When I look at this Big Ten, I'm open about it. I don't respect Northwestern. I don't respect Indiana. I don't respect Rutgers. I don't respect Purdue. I don't respect Nebraska. I don't respect Minnesota. I don't respect Illinois. I don't respect Maryland. I don't respect Iowa. I respect 4 schools in this conference.
You watch
4.
your mouth with Maryland.
F them. Wisconsin, Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Those are only 4 that I look at and I go, you know what? Over the course of a quarter of a century, rock solid. The idea that MSU has fallen to that point, Jesus, Mary, 4.5. And I know it's weighted to the over where, okay, they're basically saying if you take the over to get to 5, it's minus 180. At 5.5, it's plus odds. Vegas is basically telling you they're going to be in or at 5 wins. Rico, that's hot seat. That is square on the hot seat.
I mean, it is hot seat, Mike, but humor me.
Sure.
Let's take the inverse of that. Let's say Lightning happens again and they go to 11 games. Is he back to being Tuck coming again and this great coach?
Yes.
Because I would say no. I would say he's still somewhere in the middle.
Can I get the 11 wins and then determine my response?
Okay, that's fair.
Can I get back to you on my emotional status? No, I thought it was really interesting. And as David said, we're like 100 days out. I think part of it is maybe there's a real recency bias to it, losing the quarterback and the wideout. But I look at that and I go, wow. I mean, what are we back to the mid-2000s here? Like John 5L Smith? What are we doing?
Man, I look at this. I see why Vegas did it, man. There's so many uncertainties. The only thing that I like really coming from this team is the defense. I think that with everybody coming back and the fact, can I finish?
I didn't say a word. You can't say I interrupted you.
Okay. You were distracted.
I'm giving you an incredulous look.
You're distracting me with the defensive pass rush. I'm not saying the pass defense, I don't know. Brantley came back. That was a positive. But the pass rush, they were able to stop the run. They just couldn't stop the pass. Now, if you can get more pressure on the quarterback, plus now all the guys that you lost during the tunnel incident, they're back. They all came back for a reason. Let's see what happens. That's the strongest part to this team right now is the rush defense.
Michigan, 10.5, minus 120.
No, I think they could hit the over.
That's an over.
Like for Michigan, it's the game at Happy Valley because they'll probably turn it into a night game, a whiteout.
And how do you buy Ohio State with a new QB? This Kyle McCord, I was reading an article yesterday on ESPN that he didn't greatly separate himself from the other kid. I'm going.
Because it really doesn't matter. You're throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. So it's like a video game. If you can get it within the vicinity, it counts as a catch.
But it matters against Michigan's defense.
Well, that's different. But
David,
the rest of the season,
with the rest of the season, they go up against anybody else.
You know what's funny, though? Like, look at this. Like the Big Ten might have 3 of the top 10 teams in America, and the rest of the conference sucks. It sucks. There's no Big Ten middle class in here. These teams suck. No. And we're one of them. I mean, that's how I thought conference expansion was supposed to be good. This sucks.
No. Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State are going out and getting the players. And the other teams are still kind of
What's Tuck getting paid
scraps.
to do?
He's going to get players, Mike, but he's not getting the – I mean –
Then take some of your salary and go buy a few.
Here's what helps, okay? We just saw it last week. When all of a sudden name pops up and you see the school that they come from, oh, wow, this school can get me to the league. There's a reason why Georgia will always get players. Bama will get players. Ohio State and Michigan and Penn State will get players because they put people in the league. And until these other schools start doing that, they're going to be the have-nots.
Well, then what is he paid for?
Tucker?
Yeah.
To get the people, Mike. But once again, you do realize that none of the people that he recruited are draft eligible yet.
I've heard that.
These are D'Antonio guys. I know people don't want to hear that.
No. This fall,
Mike,
these are his players, brother.
Mike, these are not the guys. The guys that he went out there and sat in the living room and ate the bad chicken dinners and got to come to state, they're eligible this year.
Right. It's his team this fall.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And if they go 4-8, we have a problem.
No. Getting people drafted is what players want to go to the league. If you're not, it's why Ohio State could basically say, do you want to play wide receiver? You want to go to the league? Come to Ohio State. You'll go to the league. Georgia can say, you're defensive end? You want to league? Come here. We'll get you in the first round. Michigan, you're an O-lineman? We'll get you drafted. You come here. They specialize in that.
Mm-hmm.
State, we put punters in the league because they kick the ball a lot.
I mean, what are we even doing then? Just shut the program down. Let's just be done with it. 248-539-9797 there. Rico says shut it down. We don't put enough players in the league.
Did not say that.
Kenny, I'm being a Georgia fan. I'll see you in a minute.